Howdy, y'all. In today's Poop Tip Tuesday, we're going to go over 5 different questions that I got from your questions you guys asked me. So for those guys who are joining for the first time, my name is Dr. Islam, and yes, I am an actual poop doctor. My passion is to give you tips and tricks to help out with your gut health. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my weekly newsletter where you can get more information on what I'm talking about. And also, you can submit your questions on my newsletter. All you have to do is click reply, and I'll see if I can answer those questions live. So a couple of housekeeping things. Number one, if you do want me to answer your question, comment down below. Let me know also exactly where you're watching this from, or if you're watching live or on the replay. But Veronica, it's good seeing you. Thank you for watching. And Sarah, it's great seeing you as well. Thank you for watching on today's video. So I have 5 main questions that people asked me today. I sent a link out both on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for any questions you guys may have. And if you have any questions on today's live video, let's see if we can answer them. So let's go ahead and begin, guys. Hope you guys are having a great day. The weather is beautiful outside. I went for a run this morning. It was fantastic. I've not gone running in such a long time. Let me know in the comments down below, what exercise have you been doing? Have you tried something new? Are you getting out and moving about as well? Because for me, I just started taking up running and I love it. It's been a great change of pace for what I am doing for my regular health activities. So question number 1, this comes from Steve, who says, "Hey, Dr. Islam, I have to poop within 10 minutes of eating. What the heck is going on?" Very common question. A lot of people have this urgency that occurs. So the most common reason why people have the urge to use the restroom very quickly could be a condition called irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS. So IBS is a real disease. It's not in your head. You're not going crazy. I promise you. A lot of people suffer from IBS. And there are a couple of different types of IBS. There's IBS-D, diarrhea, which this person may be having. IBS-C, constipation. IBS mix, which is a mixed form between diarrhea and constipation. Can you believe that you can actually have both in the same day, maybe even in the same hour? And IBS-U, unspecified. So the most common reason to have urgency is a condition called irritable bowel syndrome. And there are a lot of reasons why people can have IBS. It could be stress. It could be a change in your gut microbiome. It could be bad bacteria. It could be just fast transit colon. You could have things moving through quickly. It could be certain foods. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what the true cause is, but this is a very common reason why people have the urge to use the restroom. Now, the good thing about IBS is that it's treatable and that it does not lead to any long-term significant complications. It doesn't lead to cancer, doesn't lead to colitis or anything else that's worrisome that's there. But obviously, it's a very troublesome issue to have. And there are a lot of different ways that we can treat this, and there's things that we can do to hopefully help out with your IBS symptoms. Great question I got from Steve. Carol, it's good seeing you. Thank you for watching home and watching on the live video. Thank you for watching. Guys, if you haven't already, I would appreciate if you can smash that like button so Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all the social media giants know that you're watching this video. It would help out with the algorithms that are out there. I really would appreciate it as well. And also comment down below and let me know what you guys think. So question number 2 comes from Kenzie, who said, "Hey, Dr. Islam, what is causing my stomach pain?" Well, there's a lot of different reasons why you're having stomach pain. It really would depend on where the pain is at. So if it's on the right side, it could be your gallbladder. There could be an ulcer on that right side. It could be a common cause for pain. If it's on your left side, this is where your spleen is at and part of your stomach as well. It could be stomach pain as well. On your right lower side, this is where your appendix is at, and so you could be having appendix problems. It's also where your colon is as well. It's also the connection between your small intestine and your colon, which is a very common location where you can have Crohn's disease or things like that. On your very left, bottom left, is your colon, and if you have what's called diverticulosis and you have pain on the left side with fever, that could be a condition called diverticulitis, which is inflammation of those pockets leading to fever, pain on your left side, chills, and maybe some bleeding as well. But it really would depend on where your pain is at. For some people, upper GI pain could be in the stomach, gallbladder area. Sometimes it can be the pancreas if it's right in the middle. Lower part tends to be more the abdomen, the colon, maybe even the small intestine. Or if you have kind of generalized pain, it could be a condition called irritable bowel syndrome as well. Maybe some problems with colitis or things like that. It really would depend on the location of the pain to help me explain why you're having the pain. Now, there are a lot of investigations that we can do in the GI world to find out what's causing your pain. We can do blood testing, maybe even imaging. And for some people, we have to take a look with the scope to see exactly what's going on and hopefully maybe take a look visually, get some biopsies to hopefully give you a better idea of exactly what's causing your pain. It's a very good question. So, question number 3 from Misty, who said, "Hey, Dr. Islam, I have been reading a lot online about Candida overgrowth. Oh my goodness, is this real?" So, how many of you guys on the various social media giants that are out there have seen advertisements for Candida overgrowth, and if you should be tested for that? Let me know in the comments down below, because I've seen it on my Facebook stream, my Instagram stream, and all the other social media streams. Is it real? Well, let me tell you this. This is a very controversial issue in GI. So for me, I like to find things that are based on actual clinical evidence. I want to have the research. I want to make sure that research is validated. I want to make sure we have good treatment options for our patients. We don't have any good research for a condition called Candida overgrowth, but we do have some evidence of a condition called small intestinal fungal overgrowth, or SIFO, which is what they may be talking to. Now, in order for us to truly diagnose small intestinal fungal overgrowth, you actually have to get fluid sample from your small intestine, look at it under the microscope to see if you have abnormal yeast. But I will tell you, we don't know exactly what that means. So you could have yeast in your small intestine, may not be an issue. Who cares? Not a big deal. But for some people, it can cause pain, bloating, and things like that. I can tell you for sure that if someone's telling you you have Candida overgrowth and they want you to check some sort of stool testing or blood testing for this, that is not going to be correct. They were probably just wasting your time and wasting your money. We have absolutely no validation for any stool testing to check for Candida overgrowth. We have absolutely no validation for blood testing for Candida overgrowth. And if someone is promoting that you have Candida overgrowth with some of these tests that are out there, I'm sorry guys, that is not true. There's no evidence behind this. I want to make sure you don't get suckered into paying for something that you don't need. So when it comes to that, we don't have any good information. We're starting to get more information of a condition called small intestinal fungal overgrowth, which I can test for. But once again, that's very controversial. And the best answer that I have for you right now is most likely no. Great question from Misty. All right, Tori asked a question. "Hey, Dr. Islam, my PCP talked to me about the Cologuard. What are your thoughts about this?" So you may have seen the advertisement of the poop in the box, where you poop in a box, get it shipped off. It can test to see the stool for DNA to see if there's any concerning things that are in there. So here's what it does. So the Cologuard is a good test to help see abnormal DNA in your colon. Now, there are a lot of different reasons why you can have abnormal DNA. You could have an actual cancer that's there. You can also have a precancerous polyp that can spread that DNA that's there, which will end up having a positive Cologuard test. And if you have a positive Cologuard test, that does mean you have to undergo a colonoscopy. Now, the issue that we're having with the Cologuard test is that there are some false positives, but I think more importantly for you, false negatives, which means that it will show you a negative test even though something could be there. The other thing about a Cologuard is that you have to do this every 3 years. So it's not just one and done, you're good for the rest of your life, or not even one every 10 years like you would for a colonoscopy. That's normal. You have to get this done every 3 years. And the other thing that can be problematic for some patients is that if you have a Cologuard test that is positive, that means that your subsequent colonoscopy may not be covered by your insurance. So kind of keep that in mind as well. The number one test, the best test to find precancerous polyps and remove them at the same time is to do a colonoscopy. It's what I do. It's what I'm trained in. We use a very small camera, take a look inside that colon, see if we can find any precancerous polyps and remove them at that time. And for the vast majority of our patients, it fixes the problem, gets the polyps out, and will prevent you from having colon cancer. And the good thing about a colonoscopy is that if it's normal, negative, you're good for 10 years. There's no other test out there that can tell you that you are clean for 10 years. So irregardless, if you are hesitant about getting a colonoscopy, I would do at least a non-invasive testing like a Cologuard. But if you have the choice between a Cologuard and the colonoscopy, in my opinion, colonoscopy is the best way for us to find things, but also more importantly, remove precancerous polyps. Great question. So John asked me a question, say, "Hey, Dr. Islam, I am having trouble swallowing. Things are getting stuck as it's going down. What is going on?" So John, let me tell you, number one, this is never a normal symptom to have. You should not have difficulty swallowing. That's not normal. Don't assume it's okay. Don't assume it's not a problem whatsoever. The most common reason is a narrowing in the esophagus called a stricture from long-standing acid reflux. Sometimes you can also have an ulcer to be the cause for that as well. The most concerning thing, though, is a growth inside the esophagus. So if you are suffering from things getting stuck, you're choking, things are not going down correctly, you need to get investigated with an upper endoscopy or an EGD. And what we do with that procedure is that we push you to sleep. I use a very small camera, take a look inside the esophagus. If there's a narrowing in there, I can stretch it out, open it up, relieve that narrowing, and hopefully prevent you from having any significant problems. There are a lot of people who come see me who complain of difficulty swallowing, and they're wondering what's going on. Let me help you. Let me find out what's going on. Let me hopefully get you the treatment that you need to get yourself feeling better. Great question. All right. Well, these are the 5 questions I got from my patients via either Instagram, DM, comments down below, or also with people who have subscribed to my weekly newsletter. Let me know if there's a question that you guys have that you want me to answer on the next Poop Tip Tuesday. But I want to thank you for watching. If there are no other questions, I'll see you guys next week. If you haven't already, please, please, please don't forget to smash that like button. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. If you have a question you want me to answer that you don't want to put on the social media platform, comment, subscribe to my weekly newsletter, and let me know what question you have so I can hopefully answer those questions for you. But I hope you have a happy and healthy day. Thank you for watching. Take care.